What is the average package? एक average package क्या है? If someone has experience of 4 to 5 years.
कुछ पैकेज अगर देखा जाए तो 10 से 15 लाख 20 लाख के बीच में है बट अगेन
Automation jobs कम करता है. Number of resources headcount में impact तो आता है automation से.
ओके ऑटोमेशन जॉब्स नहीं कम करता.
If you are wrong, do you accept that?
आई शुड एंड आई डू.
Okay.
आई शुड एंड आई डू.
Hi guys, I am Manoj Tamar. Today we have guest Mr. Vinay Kumar Tripathi. कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में, कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में सिर्फ काम करने से ही आपको सक्सेस नहीं मिलती. सक्सेस मिलने के और भी बहुत सारे फैक्टर इंक्लूड करते हैं, तभी जाके आपको एक करियर ग्रोथ मिलती है. अगर आपको लगता है कि सिर्फ काम करके, जो आपको काम असाइन हुआ है वो करके अगर आप सोचते हो कि आपको ग्रोथ मिले, आपको करियर में एक एलिवेशन मिले, तो ऐसा नहीं होता. सिर्फ काम से आपको कुछ सारी चीज़ें नहीं मिलती हैं. बिकॉज काम एवरीवन इज़ डूइंग द सेम वर्क इन कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर. एवरीवन नोज़ कि एक नेक टू नेक कंपटीशन होता है. एवरीवन इज़ आफ्टर देयर ओन पर्सनल ग्रोथ. और ये सारी चीज़ें आज जो हमारे गेस्ट है विनय कुमार त्रिपाठी, आई मीन ही हैज़ एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ 20 ईयर्स इन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड. उन्होंने अपने इस 20 साल के एक्सपीरियंस में बहुत सारी चीज़ें देखी हैं और हमारे साथ शेयर करी हैं. नाउ ही इज़ रनिंग अ कंपनी एंड ही इज़ वर्किंग एज एसोसिएट डायरेक्टर. So do not miss any point. Please watch the entire episode. You will learn a lot. I bet you, I can guarantee you, it will benefit your career. It will benefit your personal growth. Welcome, or how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for calling me over here, and it's my pleasure to giving this podcast. And as this podcast is more over technology and current situation of IT industry, and apart from that, definitely we are going to discuss a lot of other things. But this is one of my favorite topics. So
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. So, sir, when did you start your career? In which year?
So actually, I have graduated 2006.
Okay.
And I have started my career in 2008 Feb. With one of companies that Asst Technologies
Okay.
as a software tester. So I was actually primarily I was working as a tester over there, and then I moved to another company in 2009. You can say Chetu India. Then working a year over there, I moved to HCL. And
okay.
HCL till 2019, I worked with HCL. There are different offices, different countries, and then moved to Persistent, and then currently I'm working with Mercer as associate director. So it's a great journey which I am having with these companies, and it's my, you can say, it's God's grace actually that I was a part of IT industry's as evolution.
Okay.
So we have started, from the desktop applications to now we are going to the AI-based applications. So
Okay.
a
I
great
mean,
journey.
आपने बहुत सारे changes देखे हैं. I mean, drastic
Definitely.
changes.
Yes, actually.
If I ask you one instance or example, when you started your career back in 2008, compared to this year, so like what are the changes you have seen?
So in those terms, if you'll say, even though if you'll see the the technological evolution, what happened. So when we started, most of the applications were the desktop-based applications. Then after certain time, people started working more primarily on web application. Then they moved to the mobile applications. Mobile came, everything was on mobile, right? And then after in 2017-18, I have seen that a lot of people move to the IoT based applications.
Okay.
So evolution is going on, right?
Okay.
And then now you can see in every aspect AI is actually dominating. I will say that it's a drastic change. When datas were in KBs or MBs.
Okay.
Now
right.
I can see the data in petabytes, terabytes and all.
IoT based applications और normal application, उनमें difference क्या होता है?
So IoT based applications is like actually क्या था, पहले हमें कौन सी डिवाइस क्या डेटा कैसे प्रोड्यूस करे. लाइक आई वाज वर्किंग, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल. सो आई वाज वर्किंग वन प्रोजेक्ट वेयर वी वर एक्चुअली आयोटाइजिंग आवर coffee machines.
Okay.
So normally if any coffee machine is there, You do not know how much coffee, you have taken from that machine. Which coffee, how much water is there. So in the iotization, a person who's sitting into the system, he knows that where this coffee machine is located, what is the situation or the health condition of that coffee machine. Is the batteries are okay, how much content, like how much coffee is available, which coffee, people, so if that coffee machine is like placed in some New York City in some mall, so people are preferring what you can say, cappuccino or espresso or anyone else. So this kind of analysis they can get it because the data from that machine sends to the application, and they are working on it. They are doing their analysis and finding out that what people's liking or disliking.
I mean, they are reading the data of each and every people.
Exactly.
Experience जैसे कि अभी मैं फ़ोन अपना यूज़ कर रहा हूँ, I'm talking about कि यार मेरे को ना I have to purchase a laptop. The next moment when I'm opening a Facebook or I'm scrolling the Instagram, I'm seeing the laptop's ad.
Because
So
whatever
how that happens and what actually it is?
बेसिकली आप जब भी कुछ बोल रहे हो, आपकी जो डिवाइस है वो सेंस कर रही है, वो डेटा रिसीव कर रही है,
Okay.
उस डेटा को जो है एक स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक पर एक स्पेसिफिक लोकेशन पर भेज रही है, और वहाँ पर वो डेटा प्रोसेस हो रहा है, वो एड कंपनीज के पास प्रोसेस हो रहा है, वो डेटा प्रोसेस हो करके उनके पास जाता है, वो उसके हिसाब से आपको एड्स दिखाना शुरू कर देते हैं. दैट इज हाउ द कंप्लीट ad or Facebook or WhatsApp and like companies are working. Nothing is free, right? Facebook is giving you everything free.
Right.
So how they will run their business if they are not mining your data, they are not getting money from the ad or somewhere. So how they will run that business?
अपने अभी तक सबसे कॉम्प्लेक्स किस प्रोजेक्ट पे आपने काम किया जो सबसे अब तक को लगा कि सबसे कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोजेक्ट था?
To be very honest, अभी तक जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट किए ना वो बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स किए हैं.
ओके, अब सारे प्रोजेक्ट पे ही कॉम्प्लेक्स थे.
हाँ, मतलब मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम प्रोजेक्ट्स आते हैं, और क्योंकि मैंने डिफरेंट टेक्नोलॉजीज पे काम किया, तो क्या होता है हर बार जब मैं टेक्नोलॉजी शिफ्ट कर रहा होता हूँ ना, तो हर चीज़ नई होती है. जैसे मैंने IoT के प्रोजेक्ट्स पे किया 2018 में, तो सब एकदम न्यू था. इट वाज गॉड्स ग्रेस दैट आई गॉट अ चांस इन HCL. They were setting up their IoT labs and I was a part of that, and I started working with them. Like AWS, Azure, DevOps, IoT platforms, everything was new. We put a lot of effort to understand what is actually, how it is going to impact, what will be the repercussions if we are not implementing those things in a certain way. So when you start, anything which is not has been done too much in the future, in the past. So implementing those technologies into the system based on the customer's requirement, that the customization. So rather than what is the critical and the complex, the complexity is always lies with the customer's customization.
Customization. Okay.
So whenever too much customization is there, apart from the leak, there is actually a lot of complexity is there. And I'll say we have worked like in terms of slogging, I will say. So when I was working with Chetu India, it's like it's I'll say 20 hours in a day.
20 hours in a day?
Yeah, sometimes, most of the time I think it's going like this only. Then one project apart from that which I remember, that is HCL. When I was working at HCL, there's Pearson's project. That is also too much, you can say too much complex, and too much, you can say, resourcing is too much tight over there, and we have to work a lot over there. So I remember once a while I have to give the delivery, and I was sitting 36 hours consistently into the office only.
Straight 36 hours.
Exactly, straight 36 hours. So that is what, when people are coming to say me, and the 2 years, 3 years, or 1 year guy, that we need mental balance. So
are you a workaholic kind of person?
I say I do, but sometimes it's so I don't want to burn myself, but sometimes project does require, to be very honest.
So work is first priority.
Work should be first priority. Work should be first priority, because it's one thing, it's your bread and butter, It is giving you the opportunity to learn more. It
Right.
is giving you the
Right.
opportunity to hone up yourself. It is giving you the opportunity to, to show your capability towards the world, right?
Okay.
So definitely work should be your first priority. And then definitely, I am also not saying, like as Mr. Murthy quoted, that 70 hours in a week. I'm not going to say that you should do 70 hours, 80 hours, or you do 20 hours. No, I am not saying. It is just based on the requirements. So
Is
only
it possible to working 70 hours in a week and having the work-life balance with the family?
So one thing, right now I am not saying this is going to be feasible. The reason is most of the houses, husband and wife, both are working. So I'm not saying this is going to be realistic thing. The reason behind, when you are away from your home 14 hours, 15 hours, or if I'll calculate the time of this travel time
Travel time
in
again
Bangalore and in Delhi,
in
so
Delhi.
it should be like the whole time which you will spend outside of your house will be 20 hours or 18 hours.
I don't think that is
So I
feasible.
think that the whole family bonding, the whole family structure will,
Collapse.
get collapsed. So I don't think. But if he is talking about Gen Zs,
Gen
right?
Zs, like who can
I think might be they can work,
and
but
they
I am
can.
not. I'm sure they will prefer to own their new idea and to work towards it rather than working 70 hours for a company.
So you are in a position where you are leading such a huge team. You must be under you. There must be a lot of projects. I mean, the people are working on. So how you are managing your multiple projects within your company? How you remember all the scenarios first of all? कि कैसे आप हर एक छोटी छोटी डिटेल्स को याद रखते हो हर प्रोजेक्ट्स की लेट सपोज कि अभी किसी पर्टिकुलर चीज़ का ऑटोमेशन चल रहा है दूसरी टीम में किसी और चीज़ का ऑटोमेशन चल रहा है सो हाउ यू कीप
Practice.
remembering each and every single detail because in I think in automation you have to be very specific.
So it's I'll say it's a practice. So when you have a long career, so you have a practice in terms of managing things.
Okay.
You are disciplined in delivering things.
Right.
You have a capability to prioritize your things. If you do not have, you are not going to be successful.
Right.
So, and your question is actually valid. Sometimes I like 10, 15, 20 projects are running in simultaneously, and I have to be present in multiple meetings in a different projects. And even though a couple of days back, I was like doing meetings for different projects, and sometimes I was also get stuck. Oh my God, that's too much. But that happens. That is my job, right? To manage it, to balance it, to prioritize it, and based on the prioritization, the complexity, the situation, I have to focus. So I cannot focus 15 projects in the same time. But where the issue is, where I feel I need to be there, I am
Okay.
there.
Which language is more in demand?
So previously, what happened, like previous days, languages were important too much.
Okay.
Even though people were focusing about the DSAs, designs and solutions and everything, design, solution, architecture, those points. But people get, hands-on on the language and they work and they get through with the thing. As AI is intervening daily's work, and they started, delivering the project, not delivering the project, but delivering the code at
Code.
least.
Okay.
And in a minute,
Right.
right? So language is definitely a skill set, but critical design thinking is actually the key factor in the IT industry. Otherwise, everything is going to be replaced. And just for the people, I'll say that Python these days, full stack development, Node.js, React.js, if you're going into the development. So these languages are actually in
So
market.
Python is the most demanded language nowadays. We can say
Yes, definitely, because
it is open source.
open source and all the AI projects mostly use this language.
Python.
Yeah.
So Python, like आई मीन सो जैसे कि पाइथन की, और जैसे पाइथन से पहले हम क्या यूज़ करते थे?
सो एक्चुअली पहले हम पाइथन बहुत लंबे टाइम से यूज हो रही है,
ओके,
ऐसा नहीं है कि पाइथन आज आई है।
पहले से ही
पर
है।
हाँ, पर हम उसका एक्सपोजर उस लेवल पे नहीं था जब
ओके,
तक एनालिटिक्स का इम्प्रोवाइजेशन इतना नहीं हुआ। आज की डेट में हर आदमी को एनालिटिक्स चाहिए, डेटा चाहिए कि इस डेटा पर एनालिसिस करो, क्या आउटपुट है, क्या आउटकम। तो पाइथन लाइफ को काफ़ी इजी बना देता है। कुछ लोग आर भी यूज़ कर रहे हैं पाइथन की जगह। डिफरेंट
ऑलराइट,
पाइथन के अंदर बहुत सारी लाइब्रेरीज हैं, नम्पी,
लाइब्रेरीज हैं,
पांडा,
प्री बिल्ट
मैटप्लॉटलिब।
लाइब्रेरीज।
सो वो लाइब्रेरीज क्या है, जो जावा 100 लाइन ऑफ कोड्स में करती है, वो पाइथन की वो लाइब्रेरी कितने में करती है, 2 लाइन की कोड में कर
ओके,
देती है।
तभी ये ज़्यादा डिमांडिंग है।
हाँ, तो सर्टेन वर्क के लिए पाइथन इज वन ऑफ द गुड थिंग। बाकी जावा इज स्टिल वन ऑफ द फेवरेट लैंग्वेज
ओके,
for the web development or the middle, what you can say, for the business layer.
in your team, so what do you prefer to automate any particular project? Like you prefer Python, or you are, use other languages as
Okay,
well?
so
What?
we are using multiple languages. Right now we are shifting to Python because we can integrate our projects with the AI projects also,
Okay,
so it will give
so other
some,
languages compatible नहीं होती AI के लिए?
नहीं हैं, but Python, as I told you, आप कहीं पर 100 लाइन का कोड लिखोगे,
ओके,
कहीं पर 2 लाइन का कोड
ओके।
लिखोगे। तो दैट इज वन ऑफ द,
जैसे आपने बताया लाइब्रेरीज, जिसमें बहुत सारी ऑलरेडी प्री मतलब पहले से इनबिल्ट
हाँ,
लाइब्रेरीज हैं
फ्री
उसके अंदर,
मिलता है। जैसे नम्पी या
नमपाई वगैरह।
हाँ, तो आपने डेटा फ्रेम से डेटा निकालना है, आपने तुरंत निकाल दिया। आपको जावा से निकालना है तो फिर आपने पूरा डेटा स्टोर किया, रीड करा, राइट करा, तो बहुत सारा लंबा चौड़ा कोड लिखना है, तो उसके लिए फिर पाइथन इज गोइंग टू बी इजी।
ऑटोमेशन जॉब्स कम करता है? नंबर ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, हेड काउंट में इम्पैक्ट तो आता है ऑटोमेशन से?
ओके, ऑटोमेशन जॉब्स नहीं कम करता। ऑटोमेशन क्या करता है, जो भी रेपिटेटिव जॉब्स हैं
राइट,
उनकी रिलेवेंसी को ख़त्म कर देता है। इफ़ यू आर स्किल्ड वन, अगर आपने अपने आप को स्किल कर लिया तो इट्स ओके, वो जॉब नहीं ख़त्म कर रहा।
ओके,
वो ये कह रहा है कि यू आर अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, you have a capability and the capacity, hone up yourself. Why you are being a security guard who is coming every day to the office and just maintaining the register? Why you are not going to do some better things in your life rather than just maintaining a register? That can be happen through the robot also, or through the automatic systems also, right? Why a
राइट,
human being is required?
ओके,
But automation is not cutting those jobs or not replacing those jobs where critical decisions are required, where human brain is actually required. We should go this thing, go that, or we should not go that. Even though AI is also giving you the data points and some decisions, but the someone from the team is taking the decision on the behalf.
एक कॉर्डियल एनवायरनमेंट आप कैसे क्रिएट करते हो? लाइक हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज़ टू क्रिएट अ कॉर्डियल एनवायरनमेंट वेयर एम्प्लॉय फील फ्री टू टू रीच आउट टू यू विद देयर problems, professional, sometimes personal. So is it important to have that relationship or the bond with the with your subordinates?
When you are leading a big team, coordinal or harmonious environment is necessity. That is the first necessity. If the environment is not harmonious and the
Okay,
cordial, your team is not going to perform. So biggest problem, what actually normally team managers or you can say people are doing is they pushing to the work, but they are not creating an environment that employee is doing their work by their own. They think they understand, okay, this is my job, let me do it, not for the company, not for myself, right? And the other person, the next to me, the colleague who's sitting, he is helping to me. Okay, you are doing this thing, you can do this thing because I have done this thing and I found it. This is the easiest way. So till the time you are not creating these kind of environment, you are not actually getting the best output of your team. For this couple of things, I will say you have to do it. One thing is that when you will start communicating with your team in in a open sessions, you are meeting everyone with in person, understanding, having a cup of tea and asking how's life is going on, what happened, how's your project is going, any issue. Every time you are not just shouting on him for his fault, understand his situation. Might be sometimes he is having a bad mood, he wrote a bad code. You have to
Correct.
understand it.
Right. Correct.
I'm not
Absolutely.
saying every time someone is doing it and you say okay, no worries, but sometimes it happens,
Rookie
right?
mistakes happen. What is micromanagement?
uh, different stories for the micromanagement actually. Some people, if I am talking in terms of manager perspective, so they want to be sure that work should be delivered on time. Some managers, sometimes, I'm not saying every manager, some managers are, want to create chaos for the team. Said so every time, every 15 minutes, they are coming to your seat and asking, "Have you done? What are you doing? Why you are on phone? Why you went for the tea?" So sometimes this is called the micromanagement, but very frankly, I never did it and I never mean it. So I want to check the status.
That is important.
So I want to check the status. So on that time, I have a different style to ask people.
Right.
I say that any issues, so far you are good, everything is okay. Do you need any help from my side or anyone? If you need any help from anyone, let me ask to the team member to help you out. But this is very important, please understand. So do it. Someone says, people leaves bosses, not the company.
Right.
So that is actually the truth. I understand actually. I understand the problems of managers also, because when you put your legs in different shoes, then you understand different people's situation, right? You have to understand other people also, to whom you are poking every time. Sometimes once in a while, in a blue moon, everyone understand. But if you are doing it every day without any reason, people get irritated. So don't do this.
And उसके कुछ repercussions भी होते होंगे फिर.
Repercussions, and then there is a whispering, there is a toxic environment, politics, a lot of things. So when someone who's doing this continuous micromanagement, so some team member is going to that manager and telling, oh, this one is doing this is something happening. So this vicious cycle of toxication is going to be start. And your team is getting, what you can say, the team is going to be distracted from the work. You are not getting the best output from them. Everyone is just, just doing their work to get the salary only.
So how a manager can get the maximum output from one particular guy, or how he can push that person to his maximum potential?
So for that, actually, and even though it's a very good question. So what happens? Think about it. If you are sitting into your cabin and you are thinking that your team is working 100%, I don't think so that it is going to be happen.
Right.
So you have to come into the field. I'm not saying that every time, but you have to come into the field. You have to understand the environment, situation, and do it by your own rather than hearing from someone else. Because when someone else will tell you, he will tell his own story.
Right.
So you must have a great observer in that. You stay with your team member, see what is the project, what kind of the complexity is there. Sometimes team is saying, no, this is not going to be happen within this time frame. Understand what is the reason. Sometimes they actually mean it. They understand that is not going to be happen. So you understand what the reason is, communicate it to the stakeholder and say that for the best quality and for the best delivery, we want this amount of time, right? Apart from that, when any manager understand individual that okay, what is his working style, when I am giving someone some task to this guy with this way, he's working 100%. But when I am asking every time, he's not doing it. When I am saying, okay, I will do everything, you have to just live behind me and doing work, he is not giving his 100%. So you have to understand the traits of resources also. You have to understand his comfort and discomfort also. Some people are good in speaking, some people are not good in speaking, some people are good in coding, some people are good in designing. So you have to understand, manage those things and work it's a full-time job. You have to work accordingly. So the
मतलब सबको एक ही चश्मे से नहीं देखना चाहिए.
you can't see actually. You can't vouch it. If you are doing it, you are making a big mistake.
Every employee has a different expertise or the different potential.
Most of the time, I'm dealing with engineers.
Okay.
I'm an engineer, so definitely I have a soft corner for them. I'm dealing with the engineers, and they have their own thought process, and that is what they are, engineers. In 4 years of their engineering, they are not actually learning something in books. They are living some life. They are living some thought process. They are passing through a thought process where they can do anything within a night, right?
Right.
So they have a thought. They have a creativity. If you are vouching them as like a normal layman, then what is the difference between a layman and an engineer? So give him some flexibility to his creativity so that he can explore himself. He can use that creativity and do those things in a different way and more productive way. Ask them, take a suggestion, provide your suggestion, and based on that common amalgamation, get the best.
If advices to any managers, let's suppose if I'm going to be a manager, like I'm promoted to a manager, I'm a newly manager, I have to lead a team of 15 to 10 people or 20 people. So what advice would you give me?
First, one thing. First, you have to invest your time into the project. First, you understand what is the project, where you are going to lead.
Okay.
Second, you understand your team members, what type of team members you have.
Right.
Third, be courteous. Why I'm saying be courteous? So sometimes your team member can do some, mistakes also.
Right.
See the situation and take the decision. Do not rebuke every time, right? Be a joyful. So whenever your team member comes to you, he should not feel pressure.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
He should think that, okay, if I have a problem today, so just like that, you are my team member, you come to me and you don't want to work. So you just come to me, Vinay, I don't want to work today. So I will say, okay, go and enjoy, have a TT or, pool. Enjoy.
Okay.
So create those kind of bonding and be disciplined. This is one of the things which I'll say, which is most important. When you are disciplined, your team member will always be disciplined. So when you are reaching your office on time or 5 minutes early and sitting on your seat and working continuously and interacting with your team member every time, and seeing their problems, if they get stuck somewhere and you working with them, trust me, your team member is not is actually not going here and there or saying anything. He will admire you truly because he knows that you are a disciplined guy who's actually working, who's not just sitting in the cabin and giving the direction. So this is some advices which I want to give the new managers.
Definitely, I'll make a note of it for the future references.
Sure.
So, have you ever seen or you ever faced some sort of when conspiracies, everyone needs a personal growth. In your past career, in your initial phase, have you seen?
So that is a part and parcel of corporate. So it's no one should think this is why this is happening with me. It happens with everyone. You know how to deal it. Sometimes when you are new, you do not understand. You became a part of that, and when you understand, don't do this thing. Keep yourself aside of those things and upgrade your skills, because your skills will work throughout your career rather than being a part of these what you can say is conspiracies or whatever you want to say. This is going to ruin your personality, your career, and whatever. Might be you can get short-term benefit.
Short-term benefit. Okay, yeah, right. I agree.
Might be you can get short-term benefits, but if you are saying that is going to help you in the throughout career, no. And one thing I'll say.
Are you a victim of it in your career so far?
Yes, I have. I have. It's
Okay.
so I told you that everyone. So, but I understood, and that is what I am saying. One more thing, just adding on those things, like being cordial relations with your manager is not like you are a part of this conspiracy and other things. So be always a cordial relationship with your team, but your manager also,
Right.
so that you can align your goals and your manager's goal, so that you can get the growth through the work, rather than just passing information from one person to another
Another
person to your
person.
manager and getting growth.
So throughout your career, have you ever come across to a decision, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to quit because of the work pressure.
Yes. So one example I'll give you. I was in it was I think in 2015 or 16. I was in UK, United Kingdom. So doing one project, we are actually replacing their guys and putting our guys over there as a contract,
Okay.
and we have to take a lot of handover.
Okay.
So time was very short. It was too much pressure, too much pressure. Like more than 20 hours. I do not know when I slept. Like situation was there continuous. I was working. And one day my manager was baffled on me, and he was saying, "Vinay, you are committing, but you are not delivering things." And on that day, I got hurted, and I said to my manager, "Boss, look, whatever the best I can do, I did. And if you want, I'll resign right now." So when I said I resign now, he was taken aback, and he said to me, "When I baffled on you, or I said something on you, it doesn't mean, right?"
Right.
I was also getting frustrated because a lot of pressure. I understand your pressure
Okay.
also. Don't take any decision like this, or have some rest. So he understands. So that is what I was telling, right? So manager should be sensitive enough to
Okay.
understand your situation, and employees should also have that sensitivity. So sometimes your manager shouted on you, even though it's not good practice, but sometimes it happens. It's a
It happens. Human
human
tendency.
tendency. You can't avoid it. So you have to also have some patience and think about it. Is it
Right.
his daily practice, or might be he get?
यूके के वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट में और इंडियन वर्किंग एनवायरनमेंट में मतलब कितना डिफरेंस है?
इतना डिफरेंस है कि इंडिया में अगर 5 बज जाते हैं, अगर आपका ऑफिस खत्म होता है तो 5:30 बजे ही आप काम कर रहे होते हैं सीट पर बैठ करके, क्योंकि आपको डिप्लॉयमेंट देनी होती है, और रात का 10 बज जाता है।
ओके.
और यूके में 5 बज जाते हैं और डिप्लॉयमेंट जानी भी होती तो सिस्टम शट डाउन हो जाता है, एंड जो कलीग होता है वो कहता है इट्स नॉट माई ड्यूटी, नाउ इट्स 5 o'clock, आई हैव टू गिव माई टाइम टू माई फैमिली.
Okay, they are very particular with timings.
They are very particular with their timings and their work also. Over there, when they are working,
Okay.
right? So you have to understand. So when they are working 8 to 5, they are working 8 to 5. But when they are not working, they are not working. That time is dedicated to their team, right?
Okay.
So team bonding के लिए क्या
I think it is very important to have a team bond.
टीम बॉन्ड होने के लिए सबसे पहले, जो मैं वैसे लॉट ऑफ इंगेजमेंट एक्टिविटीज HR एंड अदर पीपल आर डूइंग इट, बट मुझे जो लगता है जो टीम बॉन्डिंग के लिए ज़रूरी है वो ये है कि आपको ओपन होना पड़ेगा. आपको ओपन होना पड़ेगा अपने थॉट्स उनको बताने के लिए और उनके थॉट्स को सुनने के लिए. समटाइम्स यू फील हार्डशिप फ्रॉम देयर, राइट? कुछ बड़ा तीखा सा कुछ उनकी तरफ से आता हुआ.
Right. Okay.
You have to absorb it.
Observe.
You have to understand it. You have to manage it. If you are able to do this thing, your team will be bonded. Apart from that, favoritism जैसा एक शब्द होता है.
Right. I was coming to that word.
तो वो favoritism अगर आप stop कर दोगे ना,
Right. Right.
तो I will say कि टीम में हमेशा bond रहेगा.
Bond रहेगा.
क्योंकि अगर आपको ये लगता है कि वो तो उसका फेवरेट है तो मैं एफर्ट क्यों लगाऊं, और उसको लगता है कि मैं तो फेवरेट हूं, मैं क्यों करूं, तो टीम की प्रोडक्टिविटी भी गिरेगी और बॉन्डिंग भी गिर
Bonding
जाएगी.
भी खत्म होगी.
तो ट्रस्ट में आप कितनी भी एक्टिविटीज करा लो, आपकी टीम बॉन्डिंग नहीं होनी। वो तो फिर जस्ट फॉर द सेक, एचआर के पास एक लिस्ट होती है कि हमने आज फंडू फ्राइडे करा दिया, आज हमने
आई मीन आई थिंक
ये करा दिया, बट उससे कुछ अचीव नहीं हो रहा है। और दैट इज व्हाट द फ्रस्ट्रेशन इज देयर, अट्रिशन इज देयर, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट डिलीवरिंग द वैल्यू, we are doing the activities, we are not delivering the value, we are not creating a bond between the people. एक्टिविटीज करानी हमने करा दी, that is HR's job है, वो कर दिया।
how frequent you connect with your new hires or the new team members or your managers? Is it on daily basis?
Every day, I think in every hour sometimes I was sitting next to them and working with them.
You don't mind like sitting next to your fresher or something?
I don't mind it.
Okay.
He will learn from me and I will learn from him. He's a Genji. He will teach thousands of things to me.
Okay.
So why stopping this communication? Why stopping learning? He will learn something from me and I will learn something from him also.
How do you take the disagreement of thoughts? You must be having some disagreements of opinions when you are in a team meeting. So would you take it positively, or
if you are not taking it positive, I think you are on the wrong side, because disagreement of thoughts will be happen. If that is not happening, it means your team is not enabled, your team is not capable enough.
Correct.
So disagreement of thoughts must be
there.
Only the thing is, if there is a disagreement, what is the reason and what is the pros and cons, explain it, discuss it, decide it. Might be I am wrong, might be I am wrong, right? It's not that I am always 100% right.
If you are wrong, do you accept that?
I should and I do.
Okay.
I should and I do.
Sometimes it comes to ego of a senior person. If I am wrong, I cannot accept it.
If you are not accepting, then people will say something behind of you, right?
Or I think that is not good for the team or the company's interest, right? Sometimes sometimes we just revoke the good idea just because I'm not agreeing to that.
That is what I am saying. So if you're not listening your team properly in terms of just because of your egoistic nature, you are not growing, because might be some very good idea came from your junior, you didn't listen. If might be you listen that, implement it, and shows in senior leadership, okay, we have implemented it in our process, in our project, in our program, might be that can big turning point for your career.
Right. How flexible you are in terms of giving holidays to your juniors, or
create your backup plan, or it means like when you are on leave, who's going to work for you?
Okay.
And enjoy your leaves.
Enjoy your leaves. I mean, there is no such thing ki no, you cannot take.
Why?
As long as work is manageable, you are open to approve
exactly.
all those things.
So I will say delivery is on priority, but your leaves are also on priority.
Right.
So create the backup plans, and that is what I asked to my team, to create everyone's backup plan. So someone wants to enjoy their leaves, he should.
So do you discuss with your team members personal life, or just to create a bond between you and your subordinate?
So I will say, rather than intervening their personal life, I love to discuss the situations, the conditions, and sometimes they discuss their personal lives. I listen them, what I can advise them, I advise them, and sometimes I learn from them.
In IT industry, and what is the average package? एक average package क्या है? If someone has experience of 4 to 5 years, what could be the average package of that person?
So average package अगर देखा जाए तो 10 से 15 लाख 20 लाख के बीच में है. But again
5 साल के एक्सपीरियंस
5 साल के एक्सपीरियंस में, बट कुछ 5 साल वाले बंदों को मैं हायर कर रहा था.
Okay.
And they so one of them actually asked me 66 lakh.
66 lakhs?
Yes.
Oh my.
So there is no limit in IT industry, but normally जो पैकेज है वो 10 से 15 लाख के बीच है.
15 लाख के बीच में.
बट हाँ, अगर 8-10 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है तो 15-20 लाख के आसपास, 25 लाख के आसपास अपना.
IT सेक्टर में भी स्टैंडर्ड ग्रोथ होती है, लाइक ईयरली अगर we talk about
5 to 7%, 8% normal growth.
And उसके बाद उन्होंने किन किन प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम करा और क्या किया,
किस तरीके की टेक्नोलॉजीज पे आप
Technology,
करो, कितना कितना क्रिटिकल है आपका रोल, एक्चुअली दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट.
काफ़ी फ्रिक्वेंट क्वेश्चन होता है ये, और बहुत सारे लोग सोचते भी हैं ऐसा. आई मीन एक पर्सन इज डूइंग अ रियली हार्ड वर्क बट ही इज़ नॉट वोकल अबाउट इट, एंड an other guy, I mean, he is not that hardworking, he has not delivered enough, but he is vocal about it, about his work. He has, you know, exaggerated his work in a way, just he did all of those things. So उस सिचुएशन में जो प्रमोशन होता है तो एक वोकल बंदे को मिल जाता है.
See this thing in a different perspective. If someone is getting something, so it means he is proving himself. He is right or wrong, there that could be a discussion point.
Okay.
If someone is very hardworking and is not vocal, so how he is going to tell those things or explain those things when he will become a manager or leader in front of the customer?
Right. Okay.
So this communication is also one of the most key point. I'm not saying that the person who is doing hard work is less important. He is actually the backbone, but the face is that vocal person. When you are hardworking, you must have a sustainable growth. But when you are vocal and doing, you know, some work, you can grow exponentially.
Exponentially. Okay. So आईटी के अलावा कोर्स, आप 16 साल से कोर्स लिख रहे हो, लिखवा रहे हो, राइट करवा रहे हो, उसके अलावा आप और क्या करते हैं?
उसके अलावा मुझे एस्ट्रोलॉजी में इंटरेस्ट है.
एस्ट्रोलॉजी करते हो आप? टैरो,
Vastu consultancy. So I'm a master's in Vastu. I have done postgraduate diploma in Vastu. I have a master's in tarot. I do palmistry. Apart from that, writing books. So you know my book is already in Amazon.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you are a writer also?
Yeah. So I have written my poetry book.
Okay.
Ankahi Baatein.
Okay.
And he's available in Amazon.
Okay.
This year, World Book Fair, my book was shown over there.
Okay.
And my next book, my next book is coming, which is on the corporate leadership. So you can see, like, this is my book, which I wrote.
Okay. So this is a poetry book.
Yeah, this is poetry book.
So ये कोड लिखते लिखते आप ये पोएट्री लिखना कब शुरू कर दी?
मैं कहूँगा, मुझे जहाँ तक याद है, शायद मैं 9th क्लास में था, तब से मैंने लिखना शुरू किया. इवन दो आई लाइक राइटिंग. सो मेरे काफ़ी ब्लॉग्स हैं, मीडियम पे भी मेरे टेक्नोलॉजी और मैनेजमेंट और लीडरशिप को लेकर के काफ़ी ब्लॉग्स हैं. लिंक्डइन पे मेरे काफ़ी आपको आर्टिकल्स मिल जाएंगे. But that is more over core on the management side and all those things.
So ये जो आपने बुक लिखी है, प्रेरणा पत्नी स्मृति, सो उन्होंने फोर्स किया आपको लिखने के लिए?
नहीं, ये
तो आपने बहुत लिखे हैं, तो शायरी भी हो जाए.
ये मैं सुना देता हूँ आपको. लेकिन ये एक्चुअली दिस इज अ ट्रिब्यूट टुवर्ड्स माय वाइफ, बिकॉज ये बुक जो है पब्लिश हुई है, तो मेरी वाइफ की वजह से ही हुई है. वरना मैं तो स्वांता सुखाए के लिए लिखता था. मतलब अपने सुख के लिए, अपने आनंद के लिए लिखता था. बट मेरी वाइफ ने मुझे, कह सकते हो कि थोड़ा सा पुश किया कि नहीं, ये पब्लिश भी होनी चाहिए, आपने इतना लिखा है तो इसे पब्लिश भी कर ले. तो मैं कहूँगा कि थैंक यू टू हर. तो उसके लिए मैंने एक्चुअली, इसलिए मैंने जो लाइनें लिखी हैं, असार बहुत लिखे जिंदगी में, असार बहुत लिखे जिंदगी में, मक्ताए जिंदगी तुम हो, दिल नशी हमनवा बहुत मिले सफर में, पर रंज गम में हम सफर तुम ही हो.
वाह 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 वाह, सुन के मजा आ गया. So ये जब लाइन आपने उनको सुनाई होगी, वो तो एकदम फुल ऑन फ्लैट हो गई होगी.
हाँ, मतलब उसको लगा कि चलो कुछ तो लिखा तुमने मेरे लिए. और